Hey there, welcome back to Cooking with Violet Vixen. Today we are doing a stovetop recipe for a couscous dish, and it is called colourful couscous. Here's what we need. It will serve 4. So before I talk you through all the ingredients, you will need a saucepan that we can boil the stock in, which we will add the couscous to. And you will need a saucepan to cook the veggies in, plus a couple of stirring sticks. So come on in, I'm going to talk you through what we need here. So first of all, we need 2 cups of stock. Use the stock that you like. I've gone with chicken stock. So that's half a litre. 2 cups is half a litre. That's in there. So we're going to bring that to the boil. Then we will need 2 cups of couscous. Now I measured this out in case I needed to buy any. That is exactly 2 cups, so I don't need to measure that again. That is the last of it. We also need 40 grams of butter, 1 small sweet potato peeled and chopped, 1 carrot chopped, obviously peel it first, 2 capsicum chopped into 2 centimetre pieces. Now you can use the same colour, but to go a little bit fancy, I went with green and red, just to give it colour. We also need 1 cup of chopped broccoli or zucchini, that is that, 1 bunch of spinach shredded, 1 tablespoon of Moroccan seasoning, which we're going to measure out, toasted almonds to serve, that's just flaked almonds in there, and if you like them, pitted olives to serve. They've got pits in them, but I'm just going to use those. Alright, so let's get started. First of all, we're going to bring the 2 cups of stock to the boil. So we'll do that first, and then while we're waiting for that to boil, we can get the rest of the stuff going. So let's head over to the stovetop. So into our saucepan goes our 2 cups of stock. I've gone with the bigger saucepan. I probably could have just kept the smaller one. Just going to deglaze that. So on goes that one. Well, it's been a while since I've used the oven actually, so all good. So once that comes to the boil, we are going to stir the couscous into that. And in the back one, we're going to grab the butter and start to melt that. So butter's gone into the back one. Once the butter is melted, we are adding the potato and the carrot. And by potato, they do mean sweet potato. So let's bring those over ready. So the idea is you cut everything up small, and then that way it will cook a lot quicker. So once the butter's melted, in goes the sweet potato and the carrot. And as I say, if you cut it small, it'll cook a lot quicker. And we also need an extra little bit of stock because we're going to be adding it into that. So what I've done is I've just measured out an extra 1/4 cup of water and just a little bit of stock powder. And you'll need the lid for this one as well. So we're going to saute the sweet potato and carrot for about 5 minutes. And the stock is nearly at the boil. And then we're going to stir the couscous in. Now that the water for the couscous is, or the stock has come to the boil, switch it off, remove it from heat, and stir in the 2 cups of couscous. Actually, don't stir it in, just sprinkle it, and then pop the lid over it. And we've got the timer on. We're going to leave that for 15 minutes. That will do its thing. So you can actually move that out of the way so that it's not in the way while you're trying to cook the rest of it. So I've moved it over to the front hot plate so you can see what's going on. I'm going to turn the heat down, and we've got about another 2 or 3 minutes, and then we're ready for the next step. Now while we're waiting for this, grab a little frying pan and spray it, and we are going to toast the almonds. We can probably just sit that on the hot plate that's cooling at the back. So, doesn't really say how many, but we're sprinkling them on the top. So, in my case, I'm just going to use up all of these because there's not that many in here. So this is a good way to use up things that you've had for a while, which, as we know, I like to do. So that's perfect. I'm just going to sit that on the heat. Well, it's not hot anymore, but it's cooling down. And just give it an occasional stir. That'll be fine, the one that we had for the couscous. All right, another couple more minutes, and then we're ready for the next step with the sweet potato and the carrot. So add the stock, which, as I said, is about 1/4 cup. It doesn't say how much to add, so when it says to add a little bit of stock, I figure 1/4 cup should be a little bit. We're going to cover that and let it saute, or let it boil, for about 8 minutes. So what I would do is I would line it up with the timer that we've got on for the couscous. And then that way, when the buzzer goes off for the couscous, both things are ready at the same time. Okay, now our buzzer's gone off. We're ready to add our 2 capsicums. As I say, if you want to just go with one colour, you go with one colour, but I'm going with 2. We add our broccoli. I've got 2 cups of broccoli there. Well, actually, that's 4 cups there. There's a lot more broccoli there, and I've left it bigger. I should have cut it up a lot smaller and had a lot less, but I just brought a whole chunk of it. And then our bunch of spinach. So in goes all that. And I've just been giving our almonds a little bit of a shake. As you can see, they're toasting. That's all we need from them. To have a little bit of a toasting. Okay, give this a stir. So we've got quite an assortment of colour going on there. So we only want to cook this for about 2 minutes. I reckon it'll need a little bit longer, so what we'll do is we'll turn it up a bit higher, because I've got these bigger bits of broccoli in here. So I should have cut these up a lot smaller. So I'm just going to try and crumble them up now, because otherwise they'll take too long to cook. Okay, that should do us. All right. While that's going on, I'm going to pop the timer on for about 4 minutes. Or 5 minutes, and we're ready to do the couscous. So it looks like that. Some of it's still dry because it hasn't actually covered over, so we need to get a fork and we're just going to fluff it up. Some of it still sounds dry. I think it should be all right though. It should be fine, because we're putting it in that in a moment. So fluff it up with a fork. That helps separate it all as well. So the Moroccan seasoning will be going in with the veggies shortly, and for that we need a tablespoon. So I'm just going to sprinkle the Moroccan seasoning in now so that we can get that in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the lid back over it to help steam the broccoli a bit more. So while I don't mind crunchy broccoli, I don't really want raw broccoli. I'm going to leave it just a little bit longer because I just had a floret of broccoli and it's very crunchy. I'm just going to give it another minute or two with the lid on. Grab the couscous, we're going to stir it through. Alright, give it a stir. Get all our veggies in there. Get our broccoli through. Just keep stirring it like you're mixing a cake. Alright, and there we have it. Colourful couscous. Thank you for watching this episode of Cooking with Violet Vixen. I will see you on the next adventure.